Hey everybody, Brandon Swanson here from MVP, previewing the North Carolina Tar Heels. And, I mean, how much better can you be than the Tar Heels were this past season? 11 wins, they win the ACC Coastal Division, and you got Larry Fedora. I mean, come on, the guy should win all the time with that kind of name. But they claimed the number 15 spot to end the season. This North Carolina team really, I don't want to necessarily say came out of nowhere, but they exceeded expectations for sure. And that North Carolina-Clemson game will always be one that people are taking a look at, shaking their heads, and criticizing the referees. But really, it was a great season for North Carolina, and you would have to think, why wouldn't they do it again? Well, they've got new quarterback Mitch Trubinsky, and you say new quarterback, but he kind of starred in a little bit of a role last year, completed 40 of 47 passes in 2015. Do that again, Mitch. You'll be really good, and it will be pretty hard to beat you. So that's one thing that North Carolina is hoping for. North Carolina is hoping that Trubinsky is as good in a full season as he was in his role last year. I mean, it was kind of a preview, hopefully, that they're thinking of what he could be this year. And then you look at the ground game. Elijah Hood looks to be the best on the ground in the ACC. Well, one of the best. There's some others, but Elijah Hood should definitely be up there. They've got a great receiving core. This offense looks really good for North Carolina, and even better, the offensive line looks pretty good. They allowed 1.1 sacks per game last season. That's really good. That's pretty impressive. And you get an offensive line that does at that same level or better, it's looking pretty good. Defensively, North Carolina, they were one of the most improved defenses last season in 2015. I mean, some of their numbers, they allowed 61.9 yards per game fewer and 14.5 points per game fewer than the year before. But they ranked near the bottom in sacks, 1.6 per game. Run defense, 5.1 yards per carry. And third down stops, 44.2% conversion rate. So those are definitely things to work on. But you look at a secondary that's going to be very good. You look at a defensive line that I think is probably going to need the most work. But I think that they definitely take a step forward this season. North Carolina is again, a favorite, I think, to win the Coastal Division. And why shouldn't they be? They are one of the best teams in the ACC. They certainly are. And then you take a look at their schedule. First game, it's going to be a good game. They open up not at home, the Georgia Dome against Georgia. The Georgia Bulldogs. The Kirby Smart led Georgia Bulldogs. And no, he's not playing quarterback, but he will be doing the coaching. And it may be just as exciting as if he was the quarterback. But I think that that's going to be a big game. It's a huge game to start. Then Ricky would like to think that Illinois puts up a fight in week 2. They won't. We all know it. And then you take a look, October 1st at Florida State. Huge game. Huge. Bigger than Trump's wall even. There's a lot of big games on this schedule. But I think then when all is said and done, North Carolina is going to come out smelling like a rose and looking just as good as they did last year. They are carried by this offense, and their defense improves even more. North Carolina, get excited. Thanks so much, everybody, for checking out the preview here today. And make sure you go down below in the comments section and let me know what you think. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Do you think a little differently than I do? Do you think, offense, defense, quarterback, whatever position or side of the football you think that is going to do it or not do it for this team? Make sure you comment down below. I want to hear it. I want to make sure I get the feedback from you, the fans. And then, of course, I've always got this mumbo jumbo over my left shoulder here. I hardly ever say any of it because I don't know really what it is. Make sure to check out Most Valuable Podcast on Twitter at Most Valuable Pod. Make sure you check me out because why wouldn't you want to? At Young Swan 19. young_swan19. If you check out just young swan19, you're going to find someone completely different. That's not me. That is not me. And we have a lot of other things. Make sure you become a patron. If you love us, make sure you check out our Patreon page, because why wouldn't you? There's really no reason not to. And of course, make sure you check us out on Bumble and Tinder. And as they say, swipe right to like, swipe left if you dislike. And on Bumble, you get to shake it if you messed up. So swipe it right, folks. We know you want to.